Good morning. It's a kind of a chilly morning here, about 40 degrees, 39 degrees, something like that. I am fixing to go run a few errands, and I got an appointment with my counselor here in a little while. I'm going to title this Injured Lawn Guy Vlog number 4 rather, sorry. I wanted to discuss a couple of things here, talk about a few aspects relating to my injury and my recovery here. Talk about more of like a mental health aspect as far as that goes, and how my mental health has been affected the last year or so during this difficult journey I've been going through. I'd say a lot of things started during, whatever's all the stuff that's been going on the past couple of years, in the world has been, really taking a toll on me, anxiety-wise. I feel that I've been increasingly anxious the past couple of years compared to where I used to be, when I was younger, even, before 2020 and before I was doing as much business as I am now. There was a couple events as well before I got injured that kind of started to take their toll on me mentally as far as that goes. We had a big winter storm here in 2021, we're iced over for several days, and it was just a record-breaking storm we had here, once in a lifetime kind of thing. Here in DFW, we don't really get negative temperatures or even close to 0 degree temperatures ever. That's just not something we do here in this part of the country. But during that couple days stretch, that week long, we were we got down to 2 degrees, and it was pretty rough. My main concern there was I was worried about the house, and we had just bought our house the end of 2020. So being that it's a big investment like that, I was very concerned about something happening to the house, and I'd never been nervous like that before, as I'd always rented before, and when you're renting a property, ultimately it's your landlord's responsibility. It's their problem if something breaks, so you're not on the hook. It's not on you. This was the first time in my experience that something like that had been, as I felt, it had been squarely on my shoulders, and I just thought, that I felt like I had the weight of the world on my shoulders, and that obviously nothing happened, so everything was good. It kind of mellowed, the anxiety kind of dissipated after a while for that. But then I lost my grandmother in December of 2021. So the end of that year, she had a stroke around the same week of Thanksgiving, a couple days before Thanksgiving of that year, and she was in good health, relatively speaking, but she was also 85 years old. So needless to say, she didn't survive, and it was a really tough loss for me, and I felt that in the months following that, I just had a lot of grief and a little bit of stress as far as that goes, because she was somebody that I was very close to, and somebody that I went over and saw almost every day, because she only lived about a mile away from where we bought our house, so we were constantly going over there and check on her and to help her out with stuff and just to spend time with her, because she was pretty self-reliant, even at 85. But anyway, then obviously what happened to me that spring, when I got injured, I was dealing with the mental, just the anxiety of what had gone on the past couple of years, and then losing grandma, and then it finally took the mental toll. Finally took its toll on my body physically, and I had my injury where I got injured, and from somebody like me who's never been hurt in their whole life, not anything close to this. I've had scrapes and strains and that sort of thing, and minor issues, my whole life. I've even had one little, I had a finger cut, I cut the tip of my finger off a long time ago, back in like 2003, and situation was a whole lot different though. It was just a little day procedure and with a little skin graft, and I was good, relatively quickly. So it wasn't something, and I wasn't running a business at the time either, so it wasn't, something that affected me nearly as well as this has. So from somebody who's not used to being in a position where they're, feeling like they're disabled and they can't, do what they want to do, it was very difficult for me mentally. Even after the surgery, I had to put my mind in the right place as well, and just focus on the positivity and focus on the good, and moving forward, not only getting back to strengthening my body, which I was working on with my exercise at the pool, which I'll talk about in another video, the physical exercises that I did that worked wonders for my body recovery-wise. But mentally, it's been a little bit different of a process. I see a counselor once every month, and sometimes for a while it was every 2 weeks, but now I've been going just once a month to just to clear my head and help my anxiety, and it's helped out a lot. They really are wonderful. She's helped me go through my loss with grandma, and also helped me go through some of this worry and anxiety I felt while I was injured. I've been seeing her for about 9 months, so throughout August. So I was dealing with the injury when I first went to see my counselor for the first time. But so while I was injured, mentally it took a toll on me to where I was I kind of retreated into my own self. And that pothole there. Anyway, I kind of retreated into my own head a lot. I kind of stayed away from people for a long time, a couple of months. And from me as a social person, somebody who's used to, being around people and in group settings and things like that, it was very tough for me. I feel like I lost some friends over it, and obviously, as I've mentioned before, I did lose my number one customer, lawn care customer, over this. I wasn't able to physically do the work, and she didn't understand as far as that goes. So she went with someone else. I gave her some references. I mean, there was no hard feelings on my end. I knew I wasn't able to do the work, and from my past relationship with her, I knew she didn't understand, and she didn't. So it's an unfortunate situation, but it's something I'll get through. I'm doing better with coming to terms with that. But anyway, I'm sorry I keep getting off on some tangents here as far as that goes. But yeah, from a mental standpoint, when you're hurt like this, or like I was, you think that you have to conserve your energy and you have to manage your condition. That's what went through my head. So I was, whenever I would work, I would do as much as I could in the morning and as before lunchtime, and then I would basically just lay around the rest of the day. And I mean, it's just not a good thing to be doing, especially somebody like me who's used to being physical, used to exercising and being physical with their body all day long, every day. I've always been a physical person, very active person in my life, and it just was not good. Let's just needless to say, I focused on a lot of negativity those couple of months because obviously I had a injury and that wouldn't heal like I'd been used to injuries healing on their own. It coming to grips with the fact that I would need surgery, and being somebody who's kind of how do I say, I guess, nervous around like hospitals and doctors and whatnot. That was the first time I'd ever been put under and had a major, in terms of the way I was looking at it, a major medical procedure done. It's the medical industry and the doctors and everything will tell you it's very, very common and normal, and I mean, it's not a big deal to them, but it was a big deal for me, there going through it. And from a mental aspect, I had to come to grips with the fact that I was going to need surgery, and I had to come to grips with the fact that I'm not immortal anymore. As I guess as the old song goes, there's an old song by Rush where he says, there's a line in the song, you're only immortal for a limited time, and I guess you could say I reached my limit, and I had to come to grips with the fact that I'm getting older. I'm 35 now, and I'm not 19 or 20 anymore. So my body, my body's aging a little more, and I've got to be smarter about my work moving forward so that I don't have injuries like this, or even worse, injuries like shoulders and rotator cuff and back problems. And these are all things that affect people in the lawn care and landscaping business, and these are things that I've got to get a handle on, and these are things I've got to consider moving forward. So it was also that aspect I had to come to grips with. I guess if you could, not to be over dramatic, but I guess you could say I had to come to grips, kind of with my own mortality in a sense, So it's been a struggle for sure. I think I'm stronger as a result of it, and I feel better now than I have in a long time, probably several years, both physically and mentally. And it's been a process getting here, and there's been good days and there's been some bad days. Each day is a different challenge as far as that goes. So I'm glad to be able to share my outlook here on YouTube, and I hope this video helps somebody out who's maybe somebody who's going through some mental health challenges, some anxiety, or some worry about the future and about how their work is going to go, and that these are all things that I went through, and that sometimes I even still, go through, because they're common stressors that you deal with in a business like this when you're, running your own lawn care business, and especially when you're running your own lawn care business, injured. I've always, loved this industry, and I've always loved my work, and that was the only, extended stretch of time for those couple of months where I genuinely did not like my work, and I was just kind of running on adrenaline a lot of times, and I was just, going through the motions because I had to, I had to do the work, or the clients would leave and I would be out of business, and I would have, no work and no, income, and I wouldn't have, this thing that I dreamed up and this thing that I had built up, and it would all be gone. So I had to do it. So I pushed myself, through the motions those couple of months while I was injured, and I needless to say, I don't miss that part at all. I genuinely love my job, and I love my business, and I love, mowing grass and trimming bushes and doing landscaping maintenance work, and I don't ever want to be in a position again where I, hate what I do, and where I think, to myself, like, man, this is bad, I need to quit, or when you get things in your head, when you get things in your head like that, where you're, just the strain and the stress and the anxiety have worn you out to the point where you don't want to do anything anymore, and it's really bad. And I think laying around a lot like that, like I was doing, caused that to an extent, because they say when you're active and exercising, your depression is a lot less, and I definitely think that's the case. Definitely feel that. Anyway, I'm here at a client's house. I'm gonna collect some money for some trimming I did a few weeks ago. She's been in town, so she's a cash client, so she doesn't pay with Zelle or anything like that, but that's fine. I was in the neighborhood anyway because my counseling appointment is down the street, so anyway, yeah, I'll sign off now, but take it easy and take care of yourself. Take care of your body, and especially take care of your mind, because a mind is a terrible thing to waste, and you only got one. Don't waste it. All right, thank you. I'll see you next time.